Okay, so just make sure you unmute.
Okay, so hopefully everyone can see my screen.
Yes, we're good to go.
Okay, so like we said, we're going to talk about pending orders first, and then we'll move into the digital cookie. And so just here with our pending orders, we just want to just have some reminders for you to make sure you look at the date and hours of the operation, that when you choose a location, we're going to have those dates and information is in the Help Center. So if you haven't been to the Help Center, you can take a look in there for covered locations and transactions. We have the PDF right here that will list them, and it also walks you through the instructions there too from it. You want to make sure that you remember that you're going to need to choose a time slot for your pickup for additional orders this year. And so that's so the warehouse will know when to expect you there, because we just don't want everyone, like in the past, everyone shows up at noon there and they've got 35 people waiting to pick up because they all pick noon. So this where there's actually a time slot for you. Main locations, you just want to make sure that you're putting those orders in at least 1 hour before you plan to pick them up. So again, that they are aware of it, because if they don't have orders in, then they may be reducing their staff there at the warehouse. So we want to make sure they're aware of it. Floating locations, you need to make sure that you place those orders in by noon the day before delivery. And also just be aware that some floating locations do have minimum requirements before the truck can go out for that delivery. So you do want to make sure be aware that we may have to call you after you place that to let you know that it's going to end up being canceled if there's not enough from it, but we try not to do that if possible. And we also will have a video posted in eBudde in the Help Center by next week there. Should be there by the 2nd at the latest, of the new contactless delivery at some of the warehouse and covered locations there from it. So we're going to go ahead and get started here into the demo so that we can take a look at how to do that pending transaction. So under your transactions on your dashboard, this is where you can add a transaction here. So when you click on add a transaction, you'll see up here it says covered. So this is for a warehouse covered location. So if it's one of the main ones or a floating one, this is where you're going to see the name of the location, the date that you're going to be picking up. So if we choose Riverview Oaks there, you'll see that it came up from it. It has your hours of operation. And again, it may have those notes there, schedule noon day before, maybe canceled if 300 minimum case not met, whatever it might be for that. Again, this is just the demo from it. So what you need to do this year is for the pickup. So it's going to be 2/5. So we're going to go to the calendar and click on 2/5. And now you'll see the hours of operation. So if this one was just from 1 hour time from 2 to 3, you're going to click on that, and then you're going to see the available time slots there. So if I go, okay, well, I want to be there around 2:30, let me pick the 2:30 time slot. You'll see now that it's up there from it. You also will see that you're adding product from it. So that warehouse is going to be giving you product. So you're adding product to your troop. You're going to put in for cases. So even though you might already know what it is by packages, we want you to go ahead and put it in cases just so it feeds over correctly there from it. So if you wanted one case, which is 12 packages of lemon ups, you'd put in one case. Trefoils 1, do-si-dos I want to get 2, Samoas I want to get 3, tags I want to get 2, Thin Mints I want to get 4, and then I'm good on my s'mores and Toffee-tastic. So when you click off of it, you'll see that you have your total 13 cases that you're going to be picking up. You can click save and print or click OK. When you click OK, this gives you one last chance for you to look at it while it's in green here. And if you needed to change it, that's where you could click on it and you could go back and make a change there from it. So we're going to click OK. Then you want to make sure if everything is good here, click save. Okay, so you need to make sure it clicks save so that now you'll see that it turned into gray. Okay, so today's the 27th there. That's when we placed it from it. You'll see it says, yes, it's a pending order until that warehouse is releasing it there from it. And our pickup date is there on that 2/5. And then we have the number of cases that the packages that we had put in. So it puts it in there automatically as your packages. It converts it from the cases. So that's how easy it is for you to go ahead and put in a pending transaction there. So do we have any?
We do have one question that came in, and I would like you to show something else in a moment. So the question came in is, can cookies be added to their initial order that's being picked up this weekend? And the answer is no. Okay, so once I submit the order to the bakery, eBudde locks the initial order in place. I cannot make changes or edits to any troops or council initial order. It's locked in place and we cannot make a change. So what I would like for you to show here under the transaction is if they get an error, what are they going to see? So go ahead and submit an order. And because sometimes people are confused when they get the box, unless it says save and it grays out, it's not saved. So I really need you guys to understand that if you happen to make a mistake, it'll tell you, like in this instance, she's not going to pick up a pickup date, right? Or a pickup time.
Right.
So let's see what happens when you do that. So when you click OK and then click save, it's going to give you an error.
It shows you right here.
Yeah.
You must select a pickup date and time.
So even if you think it's right here, the best way to know that your order is saved, either it's grayed out or click off of the transactions tab and back onto the transactions tab. Because what's going to happen is that line that's not grayed out is going to disappear. And that's how you're going to know that your order is not there. So I always tell people, once you even save your order and it's grayed out, click off of that tab and back on so you can see it.
That's what I'll do. So if I didn't correct that, it says you're about to make an edit without saving, abandon your edits. And it's saying okay or cancel. So if I said abandon my edits, now when I click back onto my transaction, you'll see that that third one was not there anymore. It did not save it. Okay.
So yeah, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I just wondering if there was another question.
So there are a few more about pickups before we move on to digital cookies. So there's a question about Wiregrass only being on Friday mornings. That is correct. That is the date and time that we have contracted with our delivery agent to deliver to that location. So if you're not available to go there during that time, you'll have to choose another location on another day that you are able to go. While I understand that not all of our pickup locations are convenient for everybody, we do have to contract with our delivery agents to go certain days, certain times that they are available to be there. So that is the reason why there are some locations at certain times of the day, because that is how we've contracted with our delivery agents based on their availability as well.
But remember,
yes,
you can have other people pick up from it. So if you have other troop volunteers who can do that for you, you can make them be a troop cookie pickup only user. So under your settings tab, you can edit your settings, and then you can go ahead and enter their email address so that they will have an eBudde account, but it will limit to what they're able to see and do. So
and
this is where.
Go ahead, Jeff.
This is where you would add them here. And so remember, you're not going to put yourself or a person who is already the troop leader up at the top that says troop leader on there. You only are going to put somebody who only wants to have rights to do that cookie pickup. So if you have that other adult who might want to be able to do that, so that if you're not able to pick up at the warehouse or the floating warehouse, then you could go ahead and add them to it. So when you look back on your contacts, you'll see that you have the troop cookie pickup only user. And again, they'll have very limited access to what they will be able to do in eBudde. So it's okay if you're not going to be able to pick up all the cookies, you can put those orders in for your troop and have another troop volunteer go and pick them up.
And it is important for you to know that any person who is picking up cookies for you must have an eBudde login. So whether it's a troop leader, troop cookie chair, service unit cookie manager, or pickup only user. I am going to be putting out a video to show everybody the new process for contactless pickup. And if they do not have an eBudde login, they will not get cookies. Okay, so it's important that you assign somebody. If you can't go, it's perfectly fine. Assign whoever it is you want to do that. They don't have to be registered or background screen, any of that. It's anybody you trust to do that for you. So just make sure you do that. And this is available now, so you can begin placing your additional orders. I've already had over 7,500 cases ordered for the first weekend of additional pickups. So go ahead and start placing your orders now. Now, if you're having problems seeing it, then reach out to us at product sales email box, and we can, or give us a call. Jessica and I are both in the office today and tomorrow, and we can assist you.
When they're talking about seeing it, is they're talking about having access into it for this season?
It just says, is this available now for covered order? I'm not able to order when nothing appears. So Nancy, I'll look into you to see if I see you in the system. But if anybody else is having problems seeing it, you should be able to see it is open because troops are ordering. So let me look into Nancy specifically. But there's no more questions right now about how to place the order or some of these other intricacies. So let's go ahead and move on to digital cookie. There is a question about digital cookie, but I think you're going to cover that. So I'm going to hold on answering that one until you get into digital cookie. Jess, you muted yourself.
Sorry, they were using the copier. So for direct shipped, some people were having a little confusion on the gift boxes, and so that their total under their direct ship was not showing up correctly. And that's correct. The way the gift box is, that it will show it as one sale. It doesn't show the specific cookie for it here. So if someone is looking at the number here, you would be just adding 4 more to it for each gift box for their sale. What you will see is an eBudde that it will show it's a ship with a -B as a gift box purchase, and you will actually show the 5 cookies, the varieties in eBudde. So it does show up there. So just be aware that that's one of the common questions about the gift box, of it not showing, the numbers not matching from direct shipped into what eBudde is showing them. And that's because it only shows the one indirect shipped as a gift box, but it's actually 5 packages that go into a gift box there from it. The next thing is about the online girl delivered cookies. So there's a little confusion about where the different cookies are coming from because they're not seeing them on there. So for online girl delivered, so if you're looking at this one, it has a total of 37 packages. And so when we go through it, you'll see that for donation cookie, that's 1. So when we actually go to look at what her cookies are for this girl, it's going to show us that she has 36 packages of girl delivered, because that donation cookie is not going to show up under the varieties, because that's a virtual donation that's handled through council there from it. So there was some people who had some discrepancies when they were looking at their total numbers, because they were not subtracting out those donation cookies there from it for what they were seeing there. So I just want to show you, because we have a demo site and I don't have a live site to show you a girl's order. But if you are looking to see what those varieties are for any of the girl delivered orders, they're very easy to see. So when you're on that girl order tab, you just want to remember that after the initial order, any additional girl delivered orders you'll see here, they will come in and they will be 000s, and they don't show the cookie amounts like they did before at the top or anything. They just show money amounts there from it, that you're going to see the money. So in this case, you'll see it has, oops, sorry, my box moved on me. It has 2 amounts, $60 and $120 there. So they have 2 shipments for $180. That's why you'll see that negative, the -60, the -20. That's because those cookies are not assigned to them yet. But if you click on the drop down here where this says all orders, if you click on the drop down, what happens is that there's one that says girl delivery. And you can even choose how you want to view those girl deliveries. Do you want to show your initial orders in there? Or you can just unclick it and just show your additional orders, anything after the initial order submission there was from it, okay? So what happens is it will show you those orders, it will show you those varieties of cookies. So the reason why the system does this way is because the system does not know whether girls have these additional cookies when they place their initial order, because sometimes parents will go ahead and want to take in extra cookies that they put in as a paper order because they were going to plan on doing cookies on the spot. mobile cookie booths, lemon up stands. And so they may be using some of those cookies that they are getting from that initial order to cover for these cookies here on their girl delivered that came in after their initial order. So any cookies that you're going to be giving to the parent, the caregiver for the girl, for any of these additional girl delivered orders, then you're going to do an add transaction. So again, this is our 36 boxes. So 36 boxes times 5, that's $180 because there's no specialty. And that's what we saw just on that previous screen there from it. And so it's showing you that 60 and the 20, that's where that $180 comes from. Okay, so that, again, that's the $180. If you're not sure about the orders, the dates, or anything like that, when you look at digital cookie for a girl, you'll see those order numbers will match up to what you have listed there in eBudde, that those order numbers are showing there. And again, these were the two orders, the one for $60 and the one for $120 there from it. So if a parent's not sure about what orders they have and things like that, because they go, oh, I haven't been getting emails about purchases and things like that like they should. Maybe they, for some reason, they're going to spam or they opted out or something happened, they unsubscribed from the emails. You can always email, whether it's a PDF or an Excel report, or print out the report for the caregiver to give to them when they're getting the cookies. You can give them that list of these are all your girl delivered there from it, or you can just email it to them, whichever way you want to from it. But those are where those order numbers are matching. So when we take a look here, I'm
Before
sorry.
you go forward, you're going a little fast.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So there's a couple comments that asking you to slow down a little bit on this topic. So anything that she's covered up to this point that we missed, we can go back to. So go ahead and continue, but just if you could just explain it a little bit slower, that would be great.
Okay, so again, like we said, you want to go, if you're on that main one, you're going to click down here to girl delivery, so you're able to actually see what those orders are coming in. And those, again, those order numbers are matching what's in digital cookie. If you want to uncheck where it says show initial orders, then you can even limit it down to only show you the add-on orders. So you'll see what those varieties of cookies are. Okay, so again, if you need to assign cookies, so if you got with the caregiver and they go, I do not have these cookies, then we're going to be doing what's called an add transaction, where you're going to be assigning the cookies into that girl so that they get credit. So that's what we're going to show you over here, is that these were those two orders, okay, the $60 and the $120. So you would click on add transaction and you'll get a line where you would be actually putting in the variety of cookies that you're going to be giving to that girl. So if I put in the 4 trefoils, the 4 do-si-dos, the 12 Samoas, the 4 tags, the 12 thin mints, that adds up to that 36 boxes, because this parent said, no, we did not order any extra cookies, because here she didn't even order a single box of cookies to begin with. So she needs all of them. So that's $180 that was due, but that's going to actually balance out here when you look to see that they're already that negative 60 and the negative 120, because they've already been prepaid by those customers there from it. So at the bottom, you'll see what your total will actually be. So now this girl has 48 packages of cookies that she has sold, and it balances out since everything was paid online. The caregiver themselves do not owe any money. So it's important to make sure that when you see those girl delivers come in, that whenever you're giving those cookies out, that you're assigning them in as a transaction on the screen, and make sure you click the okay, what will happen at the end, and the save. So I'm going to go to the demo site just to kind of show you here how you add cookies into girls, okay? Whether it's for a girl delivery or if it's just that they need more cookies, okay?
Yes,
So here, yes?
stop. So
Okay.
we're going to need to cover that again. We have some people who don't understand what you were, this particular section. So we're talking about not just assigning, but we're talking about, can you go through a little bit slower that section of all orders versus initial versus additional orders that are coming in? I think people are a little bit confused between the two things. So go a little bit slower. If you could repeat this section again, and then we'll move on to how they're going to see it.
Okay, so for the girl order tab, when you look at the girl order tab, you're going to see that it defaults to the all orders. So that's going to show you any orders that came in before the initial order. It will show you what was ordered on the initial order to them, and then it will show them after that initial order any of the additional sales that they had through digital cookie. So you'll see shipped. If they have shipped cookies, it lists those total due, paid, there from it. So that shows that balance of 0. For here, she's got deliver, DLVR. Those are girl delivery. So it has the order number there. So you'll see that it does not show a single cookie number there. It just shows the payment of $60, and that's where the -60 is from, because no cookies are assigned to her for that order yet. Then we have down here the next order. Again, it's 0 cookies. The amount paid is $120. So that's showing you that -$120. So right here, it shows that she has a balance of a -$180 because she does not have those cookies yet to fulfill those orders. So that's why up here under all orders, we want to click and change it to girl delivered. So when you click on that drop box there from it, so I'll just show you what it looks like here on the demo site. When you click over here, you're going to see girl delivery. When you click on there, this is what it's changing it to. And this is that check mark where you could just do it as additional orders, where it would show you the things before or after if they have anything from their initial order there from it. So again, this is the 2 orders that came in after for girl delivered after the initial order. So we verified or could see that that girl did not have those cookies. So we need to get these 36 boxes to that girl. So 36 boxes times 5 is $180. That's going to balance with those 2 payments of $60 and $120 that the customer paid. So that's why I was just showing you here on the digital cookie. If you needed to look to see, you'll see that those order numbers, this was the $60 one and this is the $120 one. That's where you're getting that $180 there. And you'll see on this one, this customer actually has 2 orders on there that they had a donation on a separate day. So it does break it down by day and by order number this year, which is a change from the previous years. So this is something that you'll be able to see. You'll be able to look at where the days of those order, the dates of them, and those order numbers are shown there from it. So you'll be able to match that up easier here. So again, like we said, we need to do an add transaction because this girl does not have 36 cookies. On her initial order, she didn't order anything. So we need to give those cookies to her. So in the comment section, you always want to name it and date it. So you should always date what day you're doing the transaction on and then putting what it is. So I would just say this is what I do for my troop, and my cookie mom does this, is that we would say it was GD for girl delivery and then PU for pickup, /U there for pickup. So this, we know that this was the girl delivery pickup, and we're assigning those 36 boxes into her there from it. So now that's how they are getting credited from it, and it shows that her total due was $180, but she's already paid from those 2 customers that $180. So what her balance due now is 0. So it's important to make sure that you're always assigning in cookies, any additional cookies that you give to the girl. If they need them, if you give them to them and you're writing out a receipt that they picked up more cookies, you're going to be putting it in as a transaction under the girl's orders there. Okay, so I'll just go back and show you, if that's okay, to here of how you would do that on the live site. So here, this is just one that we just put in things here from it. So if they needed cookies for these girl delivers from it, again, you would do add transaction. This is your green line. So we'll say today was the 3rd there from it. And again, it was girl delivery and she's picking up those cookies there. And so maybe she needed to get a lemon up and she needed to get a do-si-do and 2 Samoas and maybe she needed to get 4 Thin Mints. So whatever it is that she picks up, you're going to click OK from it. So you just want to make sure, because some parents, again, may already have cookies, that they don't need all the cookies that they have from it. So make sure that it is correct, and then you're going to click Save from it. So if they're only picking up part of the amount, then it may only balance out with part of what they had. So here she had 20, 10, 10, that's 40, but maybe for this one order, she already had an extra cookie. So it's just taking as a payment there from it. So that's where if you want to kind of keep a separate sheet, you can. We actually have a report in eBuddy that shows you the different orders from it. And so here on the reports tab, you'll be able to use the girl delivery, and you can do varieties only by girl, and that will actually show you on a spreadsheet what by order number what those varieties are. So some people like to go ahead and keep this as a separate worksheet just so that they can cross through and go, okay, this person they picked up for these orders, and go through them so they know which orders by date they already picked up or the order number they already have done. And that's in the report tab there in eBuddy here. So that's something that some people like to use too, so that they can kind of keep track of what is going on there. But it is the caregiver's responsibility. They should be letting you know. So what we typically like to do for a lot of troops is that you should be, after that initial order, you got everything squared out of what they're picking up, find out if they need to have any of these additional cookies to be assigned to them here from it. And then after that next week, normally what my cookie mom has done in the past is that she will do like Sunday night or Monday, she will send out an email reminder to have caregivers find out from them, do you have any additional girl delivered orders or more cookies, paper orders that you're going to need to have cookies picked up for? Because she wants to know at the beginning of the week whether she's going to have to make a warehouse, a pending order for a warehouse or a floating warehouse location there from it to get more cookies. So it is very important to make sure that you're communicating with your caregivers to find out that bit of information there from it. But for the transactions for girls, that add transaction, because I know some people have asked before, that add transaction you can do for the girl delivered there, but it also would be if they're just saying, well, I want to have a lemon up stand, so I want to come get more cookies. So you might want to just title it so that you know what the cookies were for, what they were doing, and they said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and I want to get another case here in here. So they wanted to get a case of Samoas and a case of the Thin Mints to go for their lemon up stand there, but they had enough of their other cookies from their initial order. Click OK. You'll see that has that $132 there. If they're going to pay me later, that's fine. And we click Save from it, but you're titling what it is so that you know what those cookies are for from it. So then on that receipt, you would make sure that you would be showing that balance of what they're owing you from their initial order and from their lemon up stand cookies there from it. And it's important that when you're getting cookies out there, that after that first week of pickup, you want to start getting money in from those caregivers, especially if they go, well, I need more cookies for paper orders that they're not prepaid. They're saying I need to take more cookies out. Then you do want to limit how many cookies they're taking out without paying you from it, because we don't want to wait to the end of the season to have caregivers owing us thousands of dollars there when you should be collecting throughout the season. Because just also remember, you are going to have ACH sweeps. So that you may want to be putting money into your troops bank account so that you can cover for those ACH sweeps. So when you do a payment, you can click on add payment. And again, you would put in what day it was that they did. in payment. If it was a specific payment, if it was that the caregiver used Cheddar Up with your troop or was using Clover or they paid you cash, then you can go ahead and say what it was. So if they use Clover here from it, so that I know what day I looked at it and it was the Clover and they ended up having $150. Then I can go ahead and click OK. Again, you'll see it. That's where that's showing you that negative. They pay the $150. Make sure you go ahead and save it there. If you ever make a mistake, you can go in and click on it. They'll turn orange. So if you realized, oh, after I looked at that Clover, it was not the end of the day. So when I pulled the report again, there was another $25 there. So really, on that day, it closed out being $175 there from it. So I went ahead and updated it there. So you can always edit if you need to and update it for those changes there from it. So,
So
but
just
it's
before we
very,
go, sorry, before we go any further, I need to go back. We need to answer a few
okay.
questions. We're
Okay.
going to get too far ahead from where we have a question. So there was a question about, so to determine what cookies we need to add from our initial order, is the best practice to look at each girl undergo delivery and then just make sure they're showing add orders, or would you recommend the eBudde Excel report, or is it asking the parent what cookies do they need based on their digital cookie reports?
I would be asking the parent just to make sure, because again, you don't know for sure unless they told you specifically. So unlike this example, this person had a total of 69 and their initial order. And those on this case were all paper orders. So did they bump it up just a little bit so they had extra ones because they knew some people told them they were going to do girl delivered ahead of time, and they just said, oh, they haven't done it yet, but they always do it, so they wanted to go ahead and get those cookies ahead of time? So that's why you should be talking to the caregiver, because if the caregiver doesn't need those cookies, then you're not going to be assigning them from it. So I would be kind of looking at to see and making sure what cookies you need, because again, cookies are not able to be returned to the warehouse, so you don't want to just assume that you need hundreds of more cookies when you really don't.
Thank you. And then another question we have, and I'll cover this. So can you go to the girl order tab for me?
Uh-huh.
So I want to explain where the cookies are coming from when they assign it to a girl. We'll cover this again in our troop in the girl transaction cookie chat, but because it was asked today. So those of you who place an additional order for your troop under the other booth line, right? So that's where you, in your initial order, right? So if that's where you assigned it, or you place an additional cookie pickup that you're picking up at the warehouse. When you assign cookies to girls, it's automatically going to come out of that extras that you have. So you have your, in here on the bottom, you have the girl total line. That's how much girls have got given credit for. Then you have the troop order, the actual total packages. And then you have what we call the difference line, right? So whenever you assign cookies to a girl, it's going to come out of the extra cookies that have not yet been assigned to a girl. So that's where they're coming from. So and we're going to cover in a separate cookie chat, and I don't want to take a lot more time today to cover, but we're going to talk about how do you give credit for boost cookies later. But when you assign girls cookies, it's automatically going to come out of your troop inventory, right? So it doesn't really matter where you ordered them from, whether it was from your initial order under the booth or other line, or it was an additional pending order that you placed for your troop. You have cookies that,
right, that's going to go all into your troop order that gets put in together. So it's what your troop order ends up being. It's what your total is.
So that negative 445 that you see at the bottom of the screen right here is the amount of cookies that have not been assigned to a girl. So that's how many boxes of cookies are not yet credited to girls. So that's how many you have to work with, right? So I think, Michelle, I think that may have answered your question on that. So I think I answered everything else. If for some reason we didn't answer your question, go ahead and retype it, because I have to scroll through all the questions, but I think I've been able to answer most everybody's question. So, and then Jess will have you move on, but as you're moving on to the next part of your presentation, there was a question about digital donated cookies that have come in through Digital Cookie. Those are automatically assigned to the Council Gift of Caring program, and they cannot be moved to the Troops Hometown Hero. Okay, when we do Digital Cookie, we're only allowed to have the Council Digital Gift of Caring link on there. So they're automatically going to go to the Council Gift of Caring. And we donate cookies to the military, we donate to Feeding Tampa Bay, and we're also keeping a section of those cookies back to go to local first responders at the end of the cookie season. So that's where anything that's donated online go to.
Okay, and so just be aware that starting Saturday, caregivers are going to see on the girls' dashboard a button that says take a customer payment. So this is a way that it will open up when they click on that to enter in that credit card information there for the girls' payment. So just be aware that we'll be sending out some more information at the end of the week from it. But this is also going to be a way, since I know right now we have a delay on getting Clover set up for troops right now, from it, but this is another way that caregivers can accept a customer payment when they're doing paper orders, okay, for when they're delivering out their paper orders from it. Okay, so it will go in as a payment through Digital Cookie into eBudde there from it. Another one, people have been about turning on and off the Girl Delivered. You can do that even after an email has been sent. You'll just want to make sure that you check or uncheck. So I've had it both ways where some people said they had unchecked it and they wanted them to be able to do Girl Delivered to be able to get the cookies from them. So just make sure you check or uncheck. So if it's checked, that means they have Girl Delivery on. If it's unchecked, that means they don't have the choice through that email link to choose Girl Delivery. So whatever you do, if you check or uncheck, just make sure you update it so it saves your changes. And then that will, anyone who tries to use that link in those emails that you sent out will only have that choice now that you gave them, whether it was only going to be shipped, no Girl Delivered, or yes, they're going to be able to have Girl Delivery as an option there. Okay, so even if it's already been sent, you can make that change there from it. You just have to make sure you update it. So just remember, if you share your site using that social media, Facebook link out there, or if a email was forwarded to someone else or that link was forwarded out, that shared one through social media on Facebook, that one gives them the option to choose Girl Delivered. Okay, from it. So it's not, you can't turn it off there. It's only the specific emails. So if someone is forwarding that email and they have Girl Delivery on it to another person, then that person's going to have that choice of Girl Delivered or direct ship. So if somebody goes, well, I wanted to help you out, I wanted to send it to other people, let those people know that you want to send them, those other people, the correct link. If they're out of state, you want to make sure that they are choosing and having one that's direct shipped only. Okay. Also remember, you're not able to post your Digital Cookie links and things out there on any retail or resale sites. Okay, that's not allowed from it.
Perfect. So I'm going to cover a couple other questions. So Valerie asked a question about if a person checks out cookies and for a lemon up stand, has their lemon up stand, and then they say they have cookies left over, can they be reassigned to another girl? I'm going to caution, let me answer this one, Jess. I'm going to caution you to not accept cookies back from a parent. If you do, that's fine. And in our cookie chat, I don't remember, I think it's next week or the week after, we talk about girl transactions. We can show you how to manipulate the transaction to take cookies back in. I'm going to caution troops not to do that because unless you put a deadline on it. We've had a lot of troops who take cookies back from parents, and at the end of the season, parents on the last day are trying to turn in hundreds of boxes of cookies back to the troop, and those still need to be paid for. So I would caution you to let parents know once they check cookies out, they cannot be checked back in unless your troop decides otherwise. It's ultimately up to you. I would caution you not to take cookies back from parents, but that is completely your choice. Okay. So there's a person who's typing in, and it says anonymous, so I don't know who you are. And I think some of your questions that you have, they're still a little bit confused. So I'm going to ask that you go ahead and email or just go ahead and type in our phone number where you can call, because it might be something that we need to talk you through a little bit more. If you're still confused about digital cookie and some of those things, it might just take us having some different one-on-one contact with you on explaining some of the pieces. So Nancy, I'm glad to see that you were able to get the thing fixed for you to place your pending order. Sometimes it is just the computer that's causing you not to be able to see it. So, but the eBudde app, you can do everything you do that Jess was showing you here, you can do through the eBudde app as well. So if you are an app person and a cell phone tablet person, it will work perfectly fine moving to a mobile view. So
Right.
you can do everything we're doing here through the mobile view as well.
Yep. So you'll be able to.
So I think a couple other questions. How can we easily tell how many cookies we've ordered and how many we need just to fulfill current digital cookie orders? So to see what you've currently ordered, right? I would suggest going to the transactions tab for me. Go to transactions. Because if they place a pending order, it's going to show.
If you have the pending order.
So transactions is where it's going to show you your current transactions, and then also your sales report. So your sales report also shows you everything for your troop, to include any digital cookie orders that have come in, donated, and delivered. Okay, do you want to use, there's a couple different places. And how many do you need just to fulfill current digital cookie orders? I would suggest that report Jess went over with you. So under the reports tab, you can go to that girl delivery varieties by girl. That's your most current. eBudde and digital cookie talk to each other several times a day. So I think that would be the place that will host everything for digital cookie. But again, as Jessica mentioned, you really need to talk to your parents about what they have and then what they need, because not every parent needs every digital cookie order that's come in for girl delivered, because they may have checked out multiple cookies from you. And then also make sure that when you put your transactions in for the girl under the girl order tab, it matches your receipt. Every time you give cookies to a caregiver, you need to sign a receipt. Every time they give you money, you need to have a receipt. We can't help you work through the intricacies of what's happening within your troop if you can't provide receipts that match what's in the system. So please make sure you're using receipts for everything you do. Do not give cookies to a parent without making them sign for them. Do not take money from a parent without making them sign for it. You can get as many of these little receipts that Jessica's showing on the screen, and actually in our eBudde Help Center, she has a lot of different examples of how to fill out receipt books. You can get as many receipt books as you want from your service unit cookie manager. We have extras here at the council office that you could pick up if you need. You can, Jessica, the payment option is available for them now, I believe.
The not until Saturday. He's
So
going, yeah.
Saturday,
so because you don't have cookies in hand yet, so you're not collecting money from a customer.
Correct. So beginning Saturday, you'll have access to the girl order tab where you can begin entering credit for girls for pickup and payments.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was, well, you can put on the transaction tab, yet you have that in eBudde. I thought you meant for caregivers, that new button.
Under the girl order tab, do they have access to the
Yes, they have access to right now. So if they want to go ahead and start looking at what they want to assign out, because they've been talking to their caregivers already to say, hey, and this person goes, yeah, I'm going to need these extra cookies. And you have those cookies that you want to give from your additional, if you had extra cookies here from your booth from it, you already have access to do that. You can do an ad transaction, or sorry.
That's the transaction.
Under girls, you can do.
Okay.
Yes.
So, couple questions about payments that have come in. So, you can enter payments now, but remember, any digital cookie payment is automatically in there. So you do not need to add digital cookie payments. They are automatic. Okay.
That's what you're seeing already.
Don't double enter. Don't double enter digital cookie. Okay, payments. Since girls don't have cookies in hand, they shouldn't have any money to collect, to give to you yet. So, so when you start having cookies in hand, to start collecting payments, does the troop have to pay a fee for the take a payment option in digital cookie? No. Girl Scouts of West Central Florida pays all of the fees, just like we pay all of the fees for Clover. and all other digital cookie transactions. Okay, so you do not have to pay fee for that. Can I remove cookies from one girl and assign them to another? You can. We're going to cover that in an additional cookie chat under, I can't remember off the top of my head what day that one is, but when we send out the weekly emails into eBudde, make sure you check that and it'll tell you. It'll be the one among girl transactions, okay, and transfers of cookies. How do you obtain a receipt book? Your service unit cookie manager should be able to provide us receipt books for your troop. And there are 50 receipts per book, okay, so that's important. If your service unit cookie manager says they are out of receipt books, tell them to let us know. But you can also, if you're by the council office here in Tampa, you can stop by and ask for a receipt book in the product program department. There's always somebody here from the product program department. We can give you receipt books. All of our warehouse are posted in the eBudde Help Center. So if you go into the eBudde Help Center, you're going to see all of our options available for additional cookie pickups. Not for initial weekend. Initial weekend, you should already have that in your what is it called, Jess?
Your initial ordering. Yeah.
I've had too many. But if you go into the eBudde Help Center and you go under the thing that says covered locations and transactions, we have a PDF document with
just click on
all
it
of our covered locations,
and it will open up and download for you, and
it'll open up and show all of our warehouses and all of our additional cookie pickups. Locations, our warehouses are what we call floating cupboards. So we have four locations for main warehouses, and then we have many floating cupboard options. Okay, so if you read this document, make sure you read this document when you're picking a location, because I have date specifics, time specifics. So make sure you read this. So it's not just picking up in Riverview. Riverview is only available 1 day a week, beginning next week. Clearview United Methodist Church is only open 1 day a week. But the main warehouses, 2 of them are open 6 days a week. The other 2 are open 4 days a week. So they are very location specifically time hours. This again is available in the eBudde Help Center. So if you have any other questions, please go ahead and type them in and we'll get them answered. If you do not have any other questions, this one took a little bit longer than normal. So you are free to log out if you do not have any other questions. Jessica and I will hang on for another 5-10 minutes just to make sure if you have any questions that we get them answered for you. I'm going to stop recording.